And as you fall more and more out of the matrix, out of the conventional way, out of the drama, out of the play, the leela of life, as you see more and more, and the pattern starts to break up in many ways. The world itself and all its players, including family, friends, workers, all of it may seem utterly insane. Don't take this as a bad sign. Take this as a good sign, for it means your eyes are clearing and you are becoming sane. You're waking up. You're beginning to see clearly. Your innermost being, your body, your emotional being, your feeling nature is coming on track, is waking up to the truth of itself and to the truth of life. Because the truth of life in so many ways, certainly in the Western constructed society, is that it is a dream in so many ways. And it works because you have to be asleep to function in it. It actually is not such a bad dream necessarily, depending on how you are inside it and how you play inside it. A lot of people get by in it. I certainly don't disparage society. It's inevitable. But for some, it never quite fulfills us or our imagination or our ideas or our hopes, our dreams of what life might be. We can find ourselves quite easily being corralled into or forced or squeezed into a box that actually doesn't really work for us. In many ways, some of the kind of more mystical based people, more artistic, more creative, the ones who fall through the net, the outsider, the crazies, the fringe, the creatives. Many of us, let's call it an us, can end up being casualties of that society. I'm not talking about mental health, just talking about how demanding it is to fit in with the social fabric, the ancestral fabric, the family fabric, the friend fabric, the whole milieu, the whole game. Strangely unsatisfying on a deep soul level, on that part of us, that essential part of us that yearns for something more fulfilling. And we seek that fulfillment in the world of form, in the world of transaction, in the world of need, in the world of getting, in the world of money acquisition, and all those things. But still there's the itch. Still there's an itch for many that's not quite satisfied by any or all of the above. And it's that itch that I'm speaking to here. The existential itch that takes us somewhere, can almost as if take us into madness or depression or, alienation or disorientation that I speak to all the time. But that itch is the doorway So when society seems insane, when other people are beginning to speak, or you hear it in a way, they're speaking a language, or in a way, in a style you no longer relate to, you can't keep up with the banter, with the exchange of self stories in the bar or in the restaurant or in the gatherings and stuff. It's one self followed by another self, followed by a story, an opinion, all of that stuff. And that is beginning or has reached a point where it no longer works for you. There's nothing wrong. It's the existential itch. The itch of recognizing that what's hurting cannot be satisfied or placated in the ways that maybe it used to be, in the superficial ways that maybe it used to be, in the ways of joining in with the game. And it just doesn't work anymore. So that itch needs to be honored. But there's nothing wrong. You're actually becoming more sane. The whole individuation is starting to wake up. And as part of the waking up or reactivating or coming into being, of course there's pain involved. Pain of realization is a pain enough. Pain of seeing, to me, is enough. The pain of awakening one's sensitivity and honoring one's sensitivity is enough. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It just means something that worked once, in whatever way that it worked, is no longer working. And you're starting to see with clearer eyes the patterns, the avoidances, the games, the transactions, the self-orientation. And it no longer works for you. And if it no longer works for you, then you are kind of trapped for a while in, well, what do I do? Because I'm losing all my friends. I'm losing all my, relationships. I'm losing everything that gave me a sense of myself. And of course, I'm going to answer, yes, that's exactly right, because you're losing your sense of yourself. And that is going to create some kind of jarring on a certain level at a certain point. But that jarring is not such a bad thing, because something is deconstructing. The old self is deconstructing. And this opening is happening. And the opening can be alienating. But it's not an alienating that's wrong. It's actually the awakening to that which isn't alienated. It's no longer being completely stuck to or adhered to the alienation, the alienated one. Deep down, as awareness, deep down, you're very sane. Deep down, you're a pure being. Deep down, there's no concern with the personality. Deep down, there's no concern with fitting in or playing the game. Deep down, you are whole, complete unto yourself. It's not a selfish thing, it's just a factual thing, a deep down. But we're not used to deep down because we've all been trained to the surface. We've all been dragged into the same mire, the same groupthink, the same level of consciousness, which is that all the dark stuff is pushed down there and we live in the on the superficial, on the surface level. And so here we go, deep down, there's sanity, but you have to go through a defragmenting of the superficial self in order to get to that deep down. So don't worry about that. Don't worry if the world seems insane. It is. Don't worry if you're falling out of the social matrix. You are. Don't worry if it makes you or other people feel uncomfortable. It's the truth. You can honour the truth of yourself without being rude or cruel to people, but you do have to find out something deep about yourself and honour this existential itch that calls you, If we don't honour the existential itch, it's still there, but we somehow kind of circle it and don't honour it and don't know it and don't live from it and don't go deeper. Bless you.